Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 168 of the Field of Geeks podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Megan.
How's it going?
Good.
Good.
Good?
Busy, but good.
Yeah, it's all right.
A whole bunch of stuff coming out, too.
Yeah, it's like almost too much stuff. It's been a while since we've chatted. What have you guys been seeing lately? Any recommendations for people?
I mean, as far as me, I would say a lot of stuff that I've been seeing just is HBO Max. So, you know,
Yeah, same.
Godzilla and then Mortal Kombat. Those two things, I would say, are the big ones.
I don't have anything. I haven't had time to sit down and watch anything. So if I am watching something, it's Adventure Time on Hulu.
All right.
While I go to sleep.
There you go. Well, I've got two things I could recommend here. The Last Blockbuster. It's a documentary on Netflix. Not sure if you guys caught this. I'm kind of late to the game on it. It came out in 2020. But it's really interesting. It focuses on the last remaining Blockbuster, which is in Bend, Oregon. It talks about the death of the movie rental industry, how it came to be. And it actually reveals that Netflix didn't actually kill Blockbuster. So to see more, check out the documentary. But yeah, you know, a lot of people thought that was what happened, but not entirely true. But it's really cool. This store in Oregon it's getting a lot of attention because it's the last one, and they focus on the management team there and her family. And they have a website. I'll put it in our show notes. But yeah, it's bendblockbuster.com. You can get merchandise. She makes like beanies. And they have hats and all kinds of gear, you know, to keep your love for Blockbuster alive, if you will.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really good documentary. It's sad, but you know, my stepdad works in the industry, distribution industry side of it, and yeah, it's sad from from its glory days to the way it is now. It's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately, technology and all that. So yeah, it sucked in parts to watch because I have more connection to that world and I grew up in it kind of, I got a lot of the perks from it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but it's still entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's just, yeah. And, a lot of people are totally for digital now, and so they probably won't feel too bad about it. But, if you think about it, yeah, there's, something special is leaving, basically, the movie rental experience. We had Family Video. That was the last store around here anyway. And then we had Video Warehouse, and those are both gone now. So yeah, it's really sad, but it's cool. It's cool to see, yeah, how it was birthed. Just it's fascinating history. So yeah, great documentary, worth your time. Netflix, check it out. Also like to recommend Mayor of Easttown. This is an HBO Max murder mystery show. It's released weekly. There's 2 episodes so far. It stars Kate Winslet. Yeah, she plays a detective. She's effortlessly good in the show because she's Kate Winslet. So, and she pulls off American accent. Can't remember the last time she played an American in a film, but I know she has. But yeah, stellar cast and filled with cliffhangers per episode. So that's the only bad thing about weekly releases. But other than that, it's good. It's really good. So yeah, I strongly recommend that as well. A lot of great HBO stuff. Mitch, you said you watched. Was it Kong versus Godzilla or vice versa? Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, no, it's kind of weird because I didn't watch the one before that, but the first Godzilla I thought was really good.
Yeah, was it jarring though? From kind of the first one's kind of more realistic, and then the one in between, I think it was the King of Monsters, that kind of got more into what Kong versus Godzilla is, with the technology and all that stuff. It's
Yeah, and you kind of get the feeling like they kind of just said, okay, we're going to take the real fan base and make movies based off that. So I didn't think that this movie was bad by any means. I probably should watch the second one before I watch this one, but it's not bad. It's I would say it's pretty good.
And you probably didn't see Kong Skull Island either, right?
Yeah, that one I did.
Oh, you did?
Was the
Okay.
Original first. Yeah, that was the newest one to start off the new stuff, right?
Yeah, you might just need those two things. Obviously, there's characters in this new one that were introduced in the last one, but yeah, you can kind of just pick up wherever. I think I've seen some of it. I haven't seen all of it, but yeah, I was just curious if that was jarring to you. Like, whoa, this went from a depressed, Bryan Cranston. Now it's like they have airships and all this other crazy tech.
I don't think so. I mean, they did kind of go off the. I mean, it became more sci-fi and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I thought it was still good though. I mean, the action scenes were good.
Yeah.
And so that kept me going.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I mean, it's great popcorn film from what I saw, and I know a lot of people seem to be complaining about the lack of human storyline or how bad it is.
Yeah, it's never been about that. It's always just been about who is Godzilla going to kick ass next.
Right. Well, I think the first Godzilla was their first attempt to really have that that human story with Bryan Cranston's character, and then I think they kind of let's just go full throttle and let's just have monsters fight each other and things like kind of like Transformers. Yeah, because Transformers never really got that, I don't think, until Bumblebee in a way, even though that had a human storyline, but it seemed like they finally got it. HBO Max is a great thing to have right now. They have tons of new movies. Like we just
oh man, is it ever.
Mortal Kombat, we'll be reviewing that later on in the show. It's one I watch a lot now, so especially with that Kate Winslet show that's on there. So yeah, the Oscars were on last Sunday. I don't know if you guys watched. It was kind of odd, last year, I think they usually come out in February. So last year they had a ceremony before the pandemic hit, and then this year it just kind of felt like a lot of people didn't get a chance to see the films or know what wasn't even nominated.
Well, did anybody know that this was even going on? Because I don't remember hearing anything about it.
It was very low key. Yeah, it didn't seem like it was advertised a lot, and I was really hesitant to see it. I was just kind of like out of it, kind of tired of award shows, especially with the virtual one. This was like in person. They kept their distance and they wore masks and things like that, and it was very low key.
Right.
It wasn't even at the Kodak Theater. It was at the Los Angeles Union Station in the Dolby Theater. So it was very, very laid back. I mean, people were still in their gowns and things like that. They made the best show they could, let's say. So it wasn't terrible. It's the lowest rated, but they were already going down. There's some highlights, obviously. Glenn Close, they did like this quiz. Questlove was the DJ. They got Glenn Close to do the butt dance. The dialogue they rehearsed prior, but the dance wasn't planned. So she just kind of did that. So it's like Glenn Close's dance. Like, what the hell?
I didn't even recognize any of the movies on this.
Yeah, a couple I did, and luckily a lot of these are on streaming services right now, like No Man Land, that's on Hulu, and Chloe Zhao, she won for Best Director, and No Man Land, the picture she directed, won for Best Picture, and she's actually directing the upcoming MCU's Eternals movies. Yeah, the Judas and the Black Messiah was on HBO Max for a bit, and I guess I forgot it was leaving because these new releases, they don't stay on forever. So I missed it. I wasn't able to see that. So I really haven't seen any of the Best Picture nominees. So, but yeah, that was a cool moment. And Anthony Hopkins, he won for The Father. He wasn't even there. He didn't really expect to win because Chadwick Boseman was also nominated in that category. And there was other people as well that had probably a better chance, you would say. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how good his performance was. But yeah, he's the oldest person to win an Oscar, at least in the actor category. And yeah, he posted a video the next day paying tribute to Chadwick, and just simply said he didn't expect to win. That's why he wasn't even there. So yeah, some people think Chadwick got robbed, but it's like, you know, Anthony Hopkins is a great actor, and I love Chadwick Boseman. You know, that's great. But, you know, he got nominated at least. So I think some people probably think when someone dies, sometimes they should get the award. And maybe so. I don't know. That's for them to decide. But, you know, he had Heath Ledger. He won for Joker, you know, back in the day. And I still wonder if he would have won if he lived, you know. But I don't think he got.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I think it was a justified win. So, and then Daniel Kaluuya, who, you know, is in Judas and the Black Messiah. He was also in Get Out and Black Panther. He won. And his speech highlights, it was going well. The speech was going pretty well until he said, "My mom and dad, they had sex. It's amazing, man. I'm here. So I'm happy to be alive." And you just see your mom. They have a reaction shot of his mom, just, you know, like, "I'm so happy." And then she just like, "What did he say?" It was funny, but yeah, it was very laid back, let's say. But yeah, one of the other highlights, Tyler Perry, he won an honorary humanitarian Oscar, and he gave a great speech about, you know, refusing to hate people for, you know, certain reasons. And it's a very good, powerful speech, and it was trending. So I don't really care for his stuff, but I do respect him and what he's made. He's made his own studio in Atlanta, and I guess during the pandemic, he made sure his whole staff was, you know, fed and taken care of, and they were all given vaccines and, you know, tested and all that stuff. And so he's given back to the community, and, you know, just a good person. So, and then
Awesome.
In the memoriam, you know, that's usually the part where, you know, that, you know, each person gets like their time to shine. They went through this thing like warp speed. It was so fast. It was crazy. And they actually ended up missing some people too, which happens. But yeah, I thought that was kind of jarring.
Yeah, I heard the Glee fans
Oh
were
yeah,
upset about that.
Yep, and the lady from Arrested Development, she wasn't included. It happens, and sometimes they don't count certain people. I don't know. Maybe you have to be in a film. Frances McDormand, she won for No Man's Land. She's a quirky actress. You just have to see. She just doesn't seem to really care about the award ceremony. She's just kind of an odd person. Not to say she's a bad person or anything. She's a great actress, but yeah, if you watch her on award shows, you notice she's a little out there. So, but she did have a good message. She said, you know, please watch our movie on the largest screen possible. And one day, very, very soon, take everyone you know into the theater, shoulder to shoulder, in that dark space, and watch every film that is represented here tonight. Kind of just a, you know, hey, the theaters are opening back up. Go see movies. And I don't know if she's going to pay for all of us to see these films, but that's fine. But yeah, overall, yeah.
Who was that?
That was Frances McDormand.
I have to Google her. I feel like I don't know who that is. She the one with the short hair?
Yeah, she has short hair now. She was in Fargo.
Is in Fargo?
Yes.
Was she in Fargo?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, the movie Fargo.
Okay, yep. Okay.
Yep. And
yeah, she's a little quirky.
She is. She's been in a lot of things, but yeah. I have to see that film. That's on my list now, No Man's Land. But yeah, there's a lot of great movies out there now on streaming services, so most of these big Best Picture nominations are there. But yeah, overall, yeah, it was kind of it's a very low-key event, and yeah, I missed the Kodak experience, the Kodak Theater, you know, the big epic scale of the ceremonies. But yeah, they'll have to revive some things, you know. I know they tried this year because, you know, the pandemic and things like that. But yeah, next year I think they'll be back to where they are, and hopefully they'll retune the Oscars a little bit, because the ratings were going down for a while now. They hadn't had a host for the last 2 years, I think. It's definitely needing to be changed up a bit. But yeah, the big thing that was jarring was they didn't They usually end the night with Best Picture, and they didn't do that this time. They did Best Actor. So Anthony Hopkins' win was the last award for the night, which was just odd because it just didn't feel like a finale. You know, that's pretty much the highlights. You there?
Hey, sorry about
That's okay. That's all right. You're on a secret mission. It's okay.
Yeah, gaming news that I've got. Okay, so all three items come from the same company, unfortunately. Days Gone 2 has been canceled. Uncharted 5 will no longer be done by Naughty Dog.
Oh,
And speaking of Naughty Dog, they are remaking The Last of Us, which nobody asked for.
Oh, the game they are?
this is true.
Yes.
What?
They're remastering and remaking the first game.
Are they kind of maybe put both the first and second game, merge it in a way, or is it very early stages?
It's early stages, but what it sounds like is a lot like what Sony did with the first Spider-Man game, where they went back and redid the character model to look more like Yuri Lowenthal.
Oh, yeah, I remember that controversy. Yeah.
So I think what they're going to do, since the new series is going to be coming out,
Yeah.
I think they're going to make Joel look more like
Pedro
what's the
Pascal.
name from Pedro Pascal, yeah.
Ah, so that's the strategy.
I think that's what's going on, but there's not a lot of news coming out with it.
Well, that'd be good
yet,
for Pedro.
so-
He'll get some money, right? Residuals.
Well, yeah, but it's like
But I get it. Yeah. That's kind of
I
stupid.
mean, it's kind of like remaking Star Wars Episode 4.
Yeah.
Like it's already perfect. Like, why would you redo it?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I'm sorry I haven't played the second game, but is there not going to be a 3? Or is it?
You're not missing out much by playing the second game. The second game's trash.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Really? That's a shame. And when did that come out?
Not too long ago.
Ouch.
I want to say late 2020, early 2021.
Wow.
But don't quote me on that.
So they're pretty much ready to erase it in a way. They're like, it didn't happen.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like a kick in the gut to the fan base. I mean, everyone just thought that like the first one was just a masterpiece. I mean,
Right.
The first one came out with PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then they remastered it for re-release on the PlayStation 4. And that was like, 3 years ago that they did that. And now it's like they're remaking it all together. Like,
Yeah, that's a money grab for sure. They're just like,
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they're trying to update it for PlayStation 5. But it sounds like more of a remake than a remaster.
maybe they should just remaster the second game, like add shit to it or whatever.
Maybe they should just be like, oh no, the second one was a dream sequence.
There you go.
The real story.
There you go. Update it to include a dream.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like Dallas. Be like the end of Dallas that one season where it was like, no, this dream.
Yes,
Sorry.
he's in the shower. Yep. The game's in the shower. It's just
Joel is really alive. He didn't die.
It's just the box in the shower. Like, hey, like what kind of acid did I use last night?
Gosh.
Jesus, that's a shame. Yeah, that's really shocking. Wow.
Yeah,
That's bad.
Well, not only that, but Uncharted 5 is going to be done completely by a different company.
Oof.
And the character actor for Nathan Drake has no idea what's going on with it, so he hasn't even been approached to reprise the role. So
Wow.
that's kind of a bad deal.
Well, then how does
Especially with the
sorry.
well, especially with the the Uncharted movie coming out
Right.
very shortly.
Right.
Maybe that's the reason why. I don't know, but we'll see.
Is
Maybe
this
Sony's just having an off year and somebody had a stroke and it just kind of, erase itself
Right.
at some point.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll just turn everything over to MCU, like the Spider-Man films and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's man, that's crazy. So, like, is this company well known that it's going to? Like, do they do good stuff?
Well, it's a Sony developed company.
Oh,
I think it's not. It's being kind of developed by like an offshoot company from Sony, not from Naughty Dog. Which Naughty Dog's the one that's been making it since, Uncharted 1, however many years ago that came out.
So they probably wanted too much money or some crap like that.
Well, it's kind of like when you have an established series, it'd be like a Batman, franchise being developed by like, let's say instead of Warner Brothers, it was developed by, New Line Cinema or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
It's something kind of along those lines. It's like, well, it's not broke, so why are we fixing it?
Right. Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're thinking there. So well, I mean, we probably don't know, but do they hand over some files, or do they have to start from scratch, this new company, with the whole game world?
I mean, it kind of depends with the intellectual property. I mean, if they can reuse, or I don't know, if they can like take what they've got and tweak it, or if they're just going to start from scratch, it's not really known yet. But
right.
That was kind of like the bad news coming from this company is that, Days Gone wasn't very well received, which I just recently started playing that on PlayStation 4 because it came out. I think it came out for free on PlayStation Plus this month, and it's for anyone who hasn't played it. I mean, it's not, it's kind of like saying that, it's like kind of like taking a movie property that's well known and saying that it's not Oscar worthy, but it's it's kind of like, the best way I can describe it is like Sons of Anarchy meets The Walking Dead.
Oh, you know what? Yes, I saw that gameplay once.
Yeah, and it's
amazing.
I mean, it's very formulaic in the way that it plays.
Yeah,
but the story of the game is very much like the very end of the story is very much a cliffhanger.
Nice.
And to know that they're not doing a sequel to it, is kind of disappointing. And then they're on the same page. They're like, but we're remaking The Last of Us that nobody asked for. So it's like, yeah, okay. I don't get it.
Was that to cheer you up?
I don't know. It's kind of like saying, yeah, we're not going to grandma's house, but instead we're going to the dentist.
Yeah, right.
They
got new toothbrushes. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to get a crappy toothbrush and you're going to ache for a week. Okay.
You can pick a toy. Put He-Man's head on a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, that's the big news with gaming. There's really not a lot going on with gaming other than the fact that Friday the 13th fans are going to be disappointed. The final patch for Friday the 13th, the game, is coming out in November, and that's the last patch the company's going to do.
Oh, wow.
No kidding.
Yeah. There was a big, and that's like a totally other story we could get into, but so the guy that basically wrote the script for the first Friday the 13th film, like 40 some odd years ago, was paid, like $10,000. And that was basically like, hey, give us all the rights to it and everything like that. Well, he ended up taking like, Sean S. Cunningham and all them to court and being like, well, this is a popular thing now. I want more money. So this company that totally did a Kickstarter to raise money for this game, like basically was told, yeah, you can't develop any new content for it. So it just kind of,
because they got to pay the original guy.
Yeah, so basically it was kind of like I mean, and this game, like, it was a kind of a smaller development company, but they got involved with Kane Hodder, who played Jason. They got
Yeah.
involved with Tom Savini, who created, a lot of the looks for Jason. And they were just basically told, like, yeah, you can't produce any new content for it.
Man,
So
what a shame.
it's pretty much their. I mean, you can still like play it like privately, but
Yeah.
they're going to shut down like a lot of the servers and stuff like that come November.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So that sucks.
Yeah, well,
But,
when it
yeah.
first launched, it had a lot of bugs, right? They had to work out.
It did, but it was also, they were like, well, we're, a small development company. They were kind of like the guys that made Among Us.
Okay, sure.
They
sure.
were a very small development company. They were doing this completely crowdfunded, and they were getting a lot of support from the fan base.
Yeah.
To make more content and make it better and stuff like that. So, I mean, there are still bugs that exist in the game right now, and they're going to fix those, and then they're pretty much just going to bow out and
Sure.
say that's all we're doing, and we're going to work on bigger and better things that we actually control.
Well, I mean, it's probably the best. Wasn't there a Jason game before this one, like years ago?
A long time ago for the NES, yeah.
So this is the best Jason game ever.
Well, yeah.
Look on the positive side, yeah.
Really, it's like the second Jason game
Right.
to ever be made.
Right.
But I mean, they're both like, they both had a very hardcore fan base, and I mean, everyone loves the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still thinking of remaking and rebooting and blah blah blah.
Right.
With the original property and everything. So, I mean, it's kind of a sad day, but at the same time, I mean, I think this company is going to work on bigger and better things, and Gun Media is looking to, which is the company that produced this game, they're looking to kind of expand from that and maybe, make a property that they 100% control, and maybe that'll be better for them in the long run. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but at least they got to make the game. And yeah, Kane Hodder did like a lot of motion cap, I think. He was at our con here, and that was one of the questions he was asked in the audience. And yeah, he said I think he got to put on the blue leotard thing, how they do it, capture them.
Yeah, the whole like mocap suit. With it looks like a blue unitard with like ping pong balls on it.
Yes.
Pretty much. But
yeah,
he did. He was really excited for it because he's like, man, this is going to be an awesome opportunity. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you could play as like every Jason from every movie just about. And they had plans to like release, Jason X and like the the spaceship from Jason in space.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And they couldn't get that done because they were in a lawsuit for the rights and all that. So
that's so crazy because the whole original concept, I think it was like talking about the movies, of course, it was a Halloween ripoff, pretty much. I think. There's so much history with those films. I actually watched the documentary on YouTube. It was free, and it was like, it might have been like 4 hours long or so, maybe longer, and it just talked about each film. It was really fascinating, just how they changed it up,
Well, and I mean, and it's funny to look back on it now with like the very first Friday the 13th. You have like people that were then unknown, like Kevin Bacon. Like that was one of his first film roles, I think. And not only that, but the first film I think was supposed to be the series continuing on from that was just supposed to be Pamela Voorhees. It wasn't supposed to be Jason at all.
Right.
And then I think it was by the third one where he finally got the hockey mask, and that became kind of his iconic look and everything like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, because, there's a great market for taking these little properties and making video games out of them, and you get to play with the whole universe, like they tried that a long time ago, and I can't remember if it was successful. I loved it, but they did From Russia with Love, Sean Connery's second Bond film. They did that as a PS2 game. This was a long time ago, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he re-recorded dialogue. Of course, he was much older, so it didn't it didn't really match how he looked. But it was still cool to play that movie out, and just to imagine, like, if they had like a Freddy game, the same concept. I mean, there's so many things you could do. It's just unfortunate, because they're gonna have to pay these residuals to everybody, and if you crowdfund something, you're gonna probably, I mean, no one will probably do that again, maybe, because it's like, well, we're gonna have to crowdfund $10,000 for the original creator to pay him off, and then we can get into the game itself. And if we want to add on to it, we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, I mean, there was even one of the counselors that was added to the game. I want to say it was like they donated, like, this guy donated like $1,000, $5,000, something like that, and actually got put into the game.
That's cool.
Oh,
Had his likeness put into the game, so it's kind of like, I mean, there was just a huge fan base with this, and Tom Savini even made like his own exclusive Jason for this.
Oh, that's cool.
For this game, which was like kind of like a devil Ghost Rider kind of look.
Ah,
it was really cool. Like, he had a big pitchfork and he was like on fire, and
nice.
It was like Jason from hell, pretty much. But,
yeah.
I mean, I guess in the meantime, we can all just wait and see if they put more Jason characters into Mortal Kombat, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Well, I mean, at least we got what we got, with this game. And I mean, I've seen, 515 Gaming, you've released some videos on it, and that was very entertaining. And
and I mean, you can, from a gamer standpoint, you knew it was a dead game. I mean, once the lawsuit started happening, the player base started dropping off and going back to, Dead by Daylight, which is a very, very similar concept game. But
right.
I mean, it was kind of unfortunate because it was one of those few games where the developers were very dedicated to making it a non-toxic environment. They removed like team killing and stuff like that very early on. Like, they wanted it to be like a cooperative thing. You're like 5 or 6 people versus Jason. You're all trying to escape, so they wanted it to be very cooperative. And
that's no fun.
I mean,
it's kill somebody to get rid of your, you gotta protect yourself.
Yeah.
What's a little speed bump gonna hurt anybody?
Could have a young Corey Feldman running around in a little Jason outfit.
Oh man, they had some of the like classic counselors from the series on there too. So
could have got Kevin Bacon back.
It's
Bacon.
I mean, the game's still going to be available. You can still do private matches, stuff like that. But as far as like the public online lobbies and stuff, that's going to go away in November.
That's a shame. Damn it.
Unfortunate.
Well,
but
they'll get October with it though, right? Halloween season. So at least you got that.
Well, and the good thing is they've unlocked, the devs have pretty much made it, double experience points and stuff like that. So, I mean, for the rest of the people that are still left, for like the hardcore fan base, it's a good thing. It'll be a good send off, but it's still a very bittersweet moment.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's too bad. Dang it. Gosh. Well, it'll be one of those cult classics, so it'll be worth something. I got a copy.
It'll be like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, where like they'll have midnight gameplay parties at like
there you go.
Like some random theater in town, and everybody can go and play it or something. I don't know.
That'd be fun. Sponsored by 515 Gaming, right?
Yeah. Joined by 515 Gaming. Maybe not sponsored. I'm not quite that not quite that well off with the channel yet. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be something if he did that. Yeah, that would be crazy. But yeah, maybe this coming Halloween we can collaborate and maybe do one of those videos. Maybe Bill can chase us around and kill us, vice versa.
That'd be fun.
There we go.
Each character we have to have like a voice for it or certain characteristic. Like, oh shit.
Oh boy.
Do it for the kids, right?
Oh,
Do it for the kids. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. Finally, Mortal Kombat came out, 2021, of course. 95 already was here.
Yes.
And it was good. It was good. For what it was good. It was good. So, yeah.
It was.
Whoever wants to get started, we can definitely tackle the good, bad, and overall, if you want to do it that way. Whichever. I know you were doing it a certain way, Bill, when you were reviewing, so I'll follow your lead.
Yeah. So my biggest takeaway with this is that it is a very good movie without being a very good video game movie. What I mean by that is that you don't need to know a whole lot about the Mortal Kombat lore going into it.
Right.
You can come into this movie completely new to the Mortal Kombat franchise and know by the end of it what's going on. I mean, it's not something like it's got the Easter eggs in there, it's got the fan service, but it's not 100% like tongue in cheek.
Right. Yep.
Like if you haven't been following it, since 1995, then you don't know what the hell's going on. But that being said, there was a lot of really good stuff with it. There's a lot of good fan service in this movie. A lot of good Easter eggs. We got 5 game specific fatalities, like taken directly from the game.
Yeah,
that's right.
So that was super cool.
Luke Hang's hat where it saws that person in half.
Yes.
Kung Lao.
Yeah, Kung Lao. Sorry.
That was
good.
Oh, man.
Badass. I'm not gonna lie.
That was badass.
That was
everything
badass.
about that character was spot on from the game. I mean, the way he appeared, all of his actions and all that stuff. I mean, if there was ever a true to game to movie, that was it. I mean, just he stole the show for me.
Yes.
Kung Lao was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that the prowess like martial arts wise, but he was still a little bit cocky, which is what he is in the game too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
And I saw what Jonah put on Facebook where he was like, there was 6 moments that he counted where he yelled out "fuck yeah."
Yeah.
During the movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I pretty much agree with him, and I can probably guess what those moments were.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, let's I don't know what you want to go into first, Josh. Like, you want to go into the good or the bad, or
let's do the good, I guess. Okay. I want to just say the first 7 minutes, which they released ahead of time, epic. Loved it.
Oh man.
What a build up to what the hell we're getting into. Like, just
I mean, the guy that granted there's probably stunt work involved and stuff like that, but the guy that played Scorpion was 58 years old.
Are you shitting me? He's 58?
No.
What?
You're kidding.
And I'm like, wow, this guy, like, he was
I mean, I saw the bags under his eyes, but shit, 58.
Yeah.
Put that in perspective.
I think he was the best actor in the entire movie.
Roger Moore was 57 for his last James Bond film. So put that in perspective. You could not see.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Well, and I mean, like I said, I don't know like what he does stunt wise, if he has people do stuff for him or not.
Right.
But,
wow.
The last we saw that actor was in Endgame.
Wait, I thought it was Wolverine.
Oh, you're right.
Was he the one that was in Endgame that was fighting Ronin / Hawkeye?
I think he was. He's familiar to me, so I know he's done other things. And forgive me, I should know, but he's definitely well known in his community, his fan community.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, both those guys are like really good martial artists, I think, and. Yeah, I know when I watched like the behind the making of, they definitely wanted to wanted the fight sequences to be genuine in this film. And I think they pulled it off. It's
Well, and the guy
Yeah.
that got to play Sub-Zero was spot on too.
Oh
I
man,
mean,
Oh, definitely.
Jesus,
if they
He was
could've-
really good.
scary. I mean, it was. I mean, the ones in '95 were, I think, scary too. But yeah, this guy definitely had a presence. Like, holy shit! Like, just like I said, the first 7 minutes, like, woof, this guy is no good.
And the thing was too, like with the game itself, there wasn't a whole lot of backstory, but the backstory that there was present in the game was around Sub-Zero and the Scorpion.
Yeah,
which
weren't
is
they
what it needed
brothers?
to be.
Were they-
So they were from rival clans.
oh,
and
okay, that's right.
Sub-Zero's clan basically wiped out Scorpion's clan.
Ah, okay.
Like they kind of fleshed it out a little bit more in the 2011 game when they like kind of did a soft reboot.
Right.
You
Yep.
kind of flesh it out a little bit more, but like it was essentially like there were two rival clans, and Sub-Zero ended up, murdering Scorpion's clan and his family, and he wanted
Okay.
to take vengeance. So he made a deal with the devil basically to come back as a revenant or spirit or whatever you want to call it.
So yeah, that retcon was introduced in this film then.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's been part of the lore since the first Mortal Kombat game.
Oh, all right. Cool.
So it's just been kind of slowly expanded on with different games and things like
Sure.
that. But yeah, I thought like that was my main selling point was I wanted to see that rivalry like in film, and I thought it was really good.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just even the effects, like from the very start of the movie when you see him like kind of forming the frost on his hands and stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
like, it looked, it wasn't like cheap,
No,
Power Rangers CGI. It looked
Not
like
at
it was actual, like genuine, icicles forming on his skin.
yeah.
So
I mean,
it's pretty cool.
they put money in this. Special effects looked incredible, like realistic as hell. And Kano, he was great.
Oh man, Kano stole the show.
He did, and
With
there's
this,
funny
think
memes
so?
all over the internet.
Kano to me was like kind of what Deadpool was to what Deadpool would be if he was in an X-Men movie.
Oh, sure.
Like I
Yep.
think, I think like just the little quips and stuff like that, and just the little one-liners, and
Oh,
they made him very close to his character in the game.
I kind of miss
Just
him being
that
built.
cocky, like
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
yeah,
It's just his
I mean,
physique, but the guy, he made up for it with, like, he was great. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And their powers,
I mean-
like, that was interesting how he got his powers after learning, studying it. And it wasn't just something he had. Of course,
yeah.
off camera, he could have discovered that. Well, it was more like hardware with the 95 version and probably the original version of Kano, right? With the eye.
Yeah, it was actually like a cybernetic
Yes.
implant.
Yes.
And I don't think it was. I think it wasn't until Mortal Kombat 3, like the game, where he actually was able to shoot lasers out of it or whatever.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. The whole unlocking your freaking superpowers or whatever, that felt a little weird to me. I mean, it was good and bad.
Yeah.
It at least explained things a little bit. how
Well,
they
yeah, I
chose to
mean,
do it.
It made sense from a standpoint of like, just having these random regular people like shooting fireballs and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just throw that in there and be like, oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid. Oh, I'm in,
Right.
I'm the Mortal Kombat version of an X-Man.
Well, and
Yeah.
it connects well with the first 7 minutes too. Like you kind of get like how they got their powers in a way. It's probably a little different, but like
Yeah.
the lore they established. You have this symbol on you. You have to study and master your ability, whatever it is.
The whole like, what did you think of the whole like, if you kill somebody, you take their symbol kind of thing?
Is that a brand new thing in the lore? Do you know? Or?
That's nothing that's been in the games.
Like, it was
as far as I'm
basically,
aware.
obviously we're spoiling here, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, and I'll warn in the
spoiler alert.
notes. Yeah, spoiler alert. But they're like, Sonya Blade, she has to be one of them. So how can we get her to be one of them? Like, why wasn't she just one of them to begin with? But I get it. So, she had to kill Kano to get it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. When the baby was taken at the beginning, I really thought Liu Kang, I thought that was the descendant, the baby, and I'm like, how did he go? Like, did Raiden take him to the future? Like, why? But he didn't, because he's a descendant of many descendants, and they all have that symbol. So it's like you're born with it, or you obtain it if you kill someone. It's kind of like Highlander rules, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, because you were just fighters before, weren't you? Without any calling card or whatever. Yeah, like does.
Yeah, I mean the fighters are all like hand selected by the person in charge of their realm, which in this case would have been Raiden.
Right. So he didn't select them. It was just something else, right?
It's just kind of like, oh, you have this symbol? Cool, you can be with the cool kids.
It's like, what's Raiden do then? Nothing. He doesn't do anything. No. I did appreciate his eyes always glowed. Like, I like that shit. I hate...
Oh, that was...
Yes, thank God. They finally did something like that felt right. You know?
Now, if he was like Brad Pitt, obviously they're going to like show his face entirely, but I did appreciate like they never stopped glowing, and I like that stuff. Like that's a lot. I think that's cool.
The one thing I will say this, and I mean, I've been excited for the cast for this movie forever. Ever since they released the cast list on it. But the actor that portrayed Raiden, I think, did tremendous job on it.
Yes.
He wasn't just like this goofy character like Christopher Lambert's Raiden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, he had this air about him that you knew he was secretly a badass, but he's kind of staying on the sidelines, letting people kind of develop themselves.
Right.
So, I mean, that was cool. I loved that. And the one thing that I love that they did with this movie, and they didn't even have an actor behind it, was Goro.
Yeah, that was cool.
Would you like that?
I loved Goro. I mean, in the 95 movie they did, it was a puppet.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, which you could very well tell. It looked like something out of Jim Henson's Creature Show.
Yeah.
But,
well, they were supposed to show more of that fight, and the puppet broke or something. It couldn't work. So that's why it was so quickly done with. Yeah,
it was. They had to do like certain angles and things like that, and close-ups, and which was really kind of dumb. But no, I thought obviously it's obvious CGI, of course. I mean,
yeah, but I think it was done well. I mean, it's not Thanos great, but it's close. Yeah,
I mean, I thought it was good. I kind of like there were some points where I was kind of like, that was the fight, that's it, kind of thing. Where it's like, there's no real tournament with it, which kind of is okay. I mean, it's kind of like Street Fighter. Like, how do you make a movie out of that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, when there's no like story behind it, and it's just like a bunch of people fighting, so you have to kind of like give them a reason to fight, I guess. But
yeah, I get that. Yeah, the lack of tournament was kind of odd.
I like the Goro fight. It was, I mean, Goro's supposed to be this intimidating, like, scary character, and I think they did that really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where he was almost kind of like the Predator, you know what I mean? Like stalking Cole Young and stuff like that. I think that was kind of cool.
I was afraid for Liu Kang's family. Like, that was very effective, him having a wife and child, because I was like, oh shit, they're gonna die, or she's gonna die, something.
Yeah.
So you did feel that urgency, like he wanted to protect them, and then when he went back, I was like, that's not a good idea.
But I mean, really, like with his, I don't know. I'm going to say this right now because I love this movie. I'm like 99% in love with this movie.
Yeah.
There's two things I absolutely did not love about it, and one of them was Cole Young. I was not a fan of Cole Young. He was the main character in the movie.
Oh, where they kind of made him feel like a descendant of Scorpion. I thought that when he got his powers that he was going to be Baraka. With the
I mixed it up with I thought that was Liu Kang. I forgot. That's not Liu Kang. Sorry.
I mean,
that's why.
Yeah, like he's this. He's going through this huge conflict the entire movie, and when he finally gets his powers, he is Wish.com Colossus.
Well, I mean, has there ever been a I don't think I've ever seen his character in the game before, or has there been?
No, he was totally new to the movie.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I guess the way I kind of look at it too is I kind of went, I was like, when I left the movie, I was like, I really didn't like him. I really didn't like his getting bronze skin and like basically being a ripoff of Black Panther. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? He's actually the player. Like that's the character he is in the game.
Oh yeah.
Like he's the play. He's like the guy that was just thrown in the middle of this tournament, and he's like, all these other people are established, and he's like trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Well, and he's a quitter to begin with. Like, when he just give up, right? So it was like a testament, like, hey, you got to change your ways. You're destined for this, and then he gets his powers. Yeah, see, I thought
it was a little too. Yeah. It was a little too cliche in that regard.
Yeah. Kind of rushed too, I would say.
But I think maybe like that was their way of being like, hey, this guy's just like you. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Mm-hmm. He's just thrown in the middle of this thing and he's trying to figure it out.
Pretty much. He's our way in, if you will. That's probably exactly how he's portrayed.
I could see him having a diminished role in the second one. Mm-hmm. If the second one, comes to fruition, which I really hope it does.
I do too. I think it's made decent money so far. So,
yeah, I mean, time will tell. I mean, especially with Warner. There was a article you sent me, Josh, where they were starting to phase out physical media, and I know that's like something different. We'll probably talk about later, but
yeah.
I don't know if that's any indication, but I mean, when I went to the theater, it was packed. I mean, for being a socially distanced theater,
right? Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. Yeah, because it's definitely it's worth it.
I really hope it develops a sequel, and I mean, really, I think with this being such fan service and with it being so true to the game and to the lore of Mortal Kombat, like I think we almost have the Snyder Cut to thank for that.
Yeah.
Because it shows what can happen when a producer is, I mean, James Wan is a huge fan of Mortal Kombat. Like it shows what happens when you've got somebody who's passionate about it and who doesn't have the studio breathing down their neck to add more and more and more.
Exactly.
It's just like Jon Favreau with The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. Like he loves the Star Wars property and it shows in his work, and I think it showed in this. That being said, though, I did not like Shang Tsung.
Yeah, he was kind of weak, wasn't he?
Really? Even though he was the same guy who was in Star Wars?
He was, what was it?
He was
the guy that was in The Dark Knight.
Yes. Yep.
I think aside from the fact that he was just like, he had just really like cheesy dialogue.
And he wasn't really menacing much to me.
He wasn't. He wasn't intimidating. He didn't really, strike me as like this powerful force. And not only that, but it looked like he had just gotten done eating like a whole bag of black licorice or something, because his lips were like all stained and weird.
Yeah.
Just like, so it's just kind of like, okay.
That's a deleted scene.
Like, I don't know. Like I think he would have made a good young Shang Tsung for the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the first one, because like the first, in the first game, Shang Tsung's this old guy. He looks like the master from Kill Bill. He's like, got the whole Fu Manchu and all that stuff. Like, I almost wish they would have recast Hiroyuki.
Yeah, the original from '95. Yeah,
and just put him like in an old wig and a Fu Manchu, and been like, "Hey, I'm the old Shang Tsung."
Shit, just make him himself.
Would have used him, but
yeah.
But I wasn't crazy about him, but that was a very I don't think I had any real problems with this movie. They were all just from a fan standpoint. I can sit here and nitpick it.
Yeah, sure.
Death, like the little things that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But there wasn't any big thing that was like, God, this movie sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I liked it. I'm almost to loving it level. There was just a few things I thought some parts were a little choppy. I didn't like the beginning text because I thought it destroyed the build-up / reveal, that we eventually got with Sonya Blade, I think we could have done without that.
I think they could have cut that out and been perfectly fine. And then we would have caught up to it when we finally met Sonya.
Yeah, that's the first thing I didn't like for sure. I was just like, that's too much right now. We just got this lovely appetizer. Let's just go into the meal and not the dessert or whatever, however you want to say it. But, it just felt like this is a lot to take in, we just watched these two dudes fight and now all of a sudden, here you go. What? Just let us discover this, gradually. Because, there's no tournament in it, which was, it's fine. It's just getting to know the world. The Shang Tsung cheating, maybe that's his character, but that kind of seemed like, well, then how the hell did we not lose our world already if they're now cheating? They're just going to go eliminate the fighters. What? I
can kind of see it the second one is more where they'd have a tournament.
Yeah, for sure.
On Shang Tsung's island and stuff like that. But
yes.
Yeah, his whole purpose with it was trying to, I guess, eliminate the Earthrealm warriors before even got a chance to fight.
Right. And I liked his realm where he was, his throne.
Oh yeah. The depiction of Outworld in this was amazing.
Yeah.
They went to when they were filming in Australia for this, they went to deserts and wastelands and stuff like that to film this, and I think it was really cool how they did
that's
it.
Nice. Yeah, that just adds richness to it. Yeah.
I really, in a way, I'm glad they used the D-list villains.
Oh sure, yeah.
Movie.
Yeah, right.
And
obviously
then just kill all the cool people. But Natara, Reiko, they're two villains from the lowest rated received Mortal Kombat games in the world.
Right.
And then they have Reptile in the movie, which looks like, Reese Ifan's lizard from Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It didn't feel like a Reptile to me. I get it. He's a Saurian kind of character, but they couldn't have just put him in his ninja outfit. I know he's not technically a ninja like the rest of them are, but Sub-Zero and Scorpion, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I was kind of like, that was Reptile. Okay.
Yeah. I would have preferred him in a ninja or I don't know, maybe, I don't know. The most interesting thing about the film, and I didn't hate the film at all. I want more, actually. I want a lot more. They did set up a lot of cool things. Just a few things I was just kind of let's not rush this. It's okay. Let's take our time, especially because there's no tournament in the film. But yeah, Sub-Zero versus Scorpion, the beginning and ending fights, amazing. And yeah, if you would have had Reptile as someone similar, that would be even better. Shit, that would have been cool. But yeah.
I could see them with this movie taking kind of a similar stance that Jon Favreau did to Iron Man 1.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can't just, it's kind of like with Star Wars. You can't have the Emperor in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to build up to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
For
this
sure.
was a very good build up. This was a very good build up film. This got you invested in the characters. It got you, interested in the world they built,
Yes.
and left you wanting more. So now we're all going to be sitting here going like, God, I hope a sequel gets made and it's not rushed and doesn't have the studio involved in it.
I know
that it just continues the momentum they built with this.
I hope so too.
From the standpoint of the Mortal Kombat franchise, I think it's a very good way to introduce people into it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's probably, it's made by a fan. And yeah, I love the ending, how they kind of gave you the old music, but it's a little different, So I miss that music. That's so good. But yeah, it would be very jarring to actually have its original sound, in this type of toned film.
Oh, that's I think the ultimate like fan, geek out moment for me was when Scorpion first appears and they do the like first chord of that song, like dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Get over here!" Like,
yes.
I was just like, "Fuck yeah, go!"
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was. I mean, Sub-Zero dying wasn't that shocking to me because he dies. I mean, canonically in the games, Bihan dies in the first game.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then comes back as Noob Saibot. So I'm kind of like when Shang Tsung said that whole thing of like death is only the beginning and
yes,
blah blah blah. It's kind of like, and then he like did his little shadow thing and pulled everybody back to Outworld or whatever. It's like, oh, okay, is he gonna like resurrect them or what?
Yeah, like we'll get Kano again, maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, I want more Kano. That'd be cool.
We can do without Reiko and Natara. I was super excited that they brought Cabal into this movie, though.
Yeah.
He's, I think behind Scorpion and Sub-Zero, Cabal is one of my favorite characters in the series.
And which one was that?
And,
I'm sorry, I don't.
He was the guy with like kind of the gas mask and the hook swords.
Oh, I love that guy. Yeah.
Liu Kang.
Yes.
Like he was a really cool character in the game, and I really like that they talked about him in Annihilation, but they actually showed him in this movie. I'm like, yes, finally. But yeah, I mean, from a fan standpoint, I could nitpick about a couple things. Like Liu Kang was just kind of a background character.
Yeah.
Whereas he's like the main character of the game.
He didn't have the same presence as the original Liu Kang. He just didn't have that.
Oh God, no. He was
another meme they have out there. You should check it out.
Yeah, that one is. Oh my God.
It's a Captain America comparison to John Walker.
He was not Robin Shaw, that's for sure. But he was still okay. He was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I really like the tease at the end with Johnny Cage.
Yes.
Like, is that really sequel baiting worthy?
Oh yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like in the newer games, like Johnny Cage takes more of a central role.
Right.
Does he?
But I've never been a fan of Johnny Cage.
Really?
Like, when you've got like badass characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero, a guy who's like basically Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't really appeal to you too much. But, I mean, it was nice that they had him that they teased him at the end, because it's kind of like, oh hey Johnny, but I'd much rather they showed like Shao Kahn at the end or something. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's a good thing for the newer fan base, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like Johnny Cage is like kind of an over the top personality, so he would kind of be like the next movie's Kano.
Oh sure, yeah, yep.
Over the top, like
out
there personality kind of thing. But
well, I think Mortal Kombat itself, I read this today, and I probably didn't like remember all of it, but I think the game series was based off of Bloodsport, and Johnny Cage is loosely Jean-Claude Van Damme, basically. So that's a right comparison there. So yeah, it was created that way. But Yeah, maybe they could have had him walk to the movie set or something. I don't know, and maybe just see his back in the chair. But yeah, I get it. I love Johnny Cage in the '95 film. I thought that was really effective. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, Lyndon. There was one thing that confused me about this: that Lyndon Ashby, the guy who played Johnny Cage in the original Mortal Kombat, I think he was supposed to have a role in this movie, and I don't remember seeing him in it.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if that got cut or if that'd be like a director's cut kind of thing or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's the manager of Johnny Cage or something. That would be kind of funny. But.
So yeah, but I didn't remember seeing him in it. But that was the only thing I was kind of like looking out for. I'm like, where is he?
Yeah. And who are you going to cast? Like, I guess you could do an unknown still. It keeps the budget down, and I don't know. Or who would you? I guess fantasy casting. What do you think of for Johnny Cage now?
Gosh, I would almost. I would stick with the. I would stick with the Power Rangers casting that they did for Liu Kang, and I would cast the guy who played the Red Ranger in the 2017 Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. Stranger Things as well.
He also played in Stranger Things. I can't think of the guy's name off the top of my head.
I can't either.
But he's
I know what you're talking about.
He's kind of got that like pretty boy look to him, and I think he could pull off like a cocky asshole kind of thing.
Right.
So I mean, I think that would work out good, but
that's pretty good.
God, aside from him, I mean, Johnny Cage is kind of like he's kind of like Cole Young in a way. He's like kind of on his last legs and kind of a has-been kind of thing.
Right.
Interestingly enough, in Mortal Kombat Legacy, they cast Casper Van Dien as Johnny Cage.
Oh, no kidding.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought he actually did a really good Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's an older actor, which Johnny Cage actually is in the game.
Right.
And he's like trying to prove to everybody that he's not like a phony. He doesn't fake his own stunts and stuff like that. Which I mean, that would be kind of a cool callback to Tench Rowan's series that he tried to do if they had Casper Van Dien in it. But then again, I mean, it's availability, it's stunt work, it's stuff like that. But,
of course.
I mean, if we can send Vin Diesel to space for Fast and the Furious 27 or whatever it is coming out, then we can do pretty much anything.
Steven Seagal is, there you go, Johnny Cage.
No, you take that back right now, Josh.
Because he's trying to prove himself. He's like, I'm really a fighter, really. Or
he just gets taken out like a bitch in 5 seconds. That'd be awesome.
He's just on a couch. They just wheel him in. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
He walks in chewing on a corn dog and gets punched in the nuts.
Fatality.
No, like the only like major gripe that had nothing to do with like fan stuff or like the storyline or anything like that. The fight between Kano and Sonya, was that really dark for anyone else, or was it just me?
Oh, you mean like the lighting?
Lighting wise,
the lighting was terrible.
Yeah, there was a couple fight scenes where it was like so dark, like lighting wise, that I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
I didn't pick up on that.
Can you turn up the brightness just a little bit when you release it on Blu-ray or whatever? Like, I don't know. That was just like a little nitpick thing that I had. But
sure.
It was so cool. I mean, the fight that they had was
awesome.
It was, you could still kind of tell what was going on, but
it was intense. I didn't catch that. I'll have to watch it again and see if I noticed the darkness.
I mean, I watched it in theaters too, so I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Did you watch it on streaming?
I did. Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am gearing up to go back to the theater, so eventually I probably will go back. But yeah, no, I watched it at home, and yeah, I didn't pick up on that, but yeah, I could have missed it too.
Yeah.
Could have been like, well, this is what they're going for because it's a little darker, and I don't know. But no, I was a little sleepy when I watched it, but I stayed up because I was like, I want to see this thing.
I mean, it matched the atmosphere. They're like basically fighting in a trailer.
Yeah.
So it felt like a really claustrophobic fight, but at the same time, I just kind of wish I would have been able to see it a little bit more. But,
sure.
I would just say that don't trust the tomato meter.
Oh, I never do. Yeah. What is it? Is it bad?
It's a very average review. It's like basically a C- review.
Oh, I give it a B. Give it a B. Come on. I would
say it's by no means a 5-star movie, but I would at least give it 3.5 to 4.
Yeah, it's still a great time, and it's not annihilation at all. At all.
Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Yeah, and they put really a lot of money into it, and it showed. And hopefully they won't, decrease the budget for the next one. That'd be a shame. But especially because you're going to go to the other realms in the next one, and they're going to have to be just as good or better. More expanding of everything. So, yeah.
Well, and fingers crossed we don't have a pandemic in the middle of them producing the next one.
No shit. Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that really hurt the production for this one. And
yes.
I mean, this is in reality, you look at it, this movie has been in production since 2012.
Yeah, right.
It's been in a Mortal Kombat sequel or new movie or reboot has been in development hell forever.
Yeah, I mean for what they did, I mean it turned out great, I think, and maybe a director's cut would, gain more people to enjoy it. I don't know. I don't really see. Yeah, I've seen mixed reactions on the internet, but I think mostly been positive. It's it's not terrible by any stretch. It's worth watching.
I think it was definitely a good move, taking it to an R rating. Mm-hmm. I mean, they even had to tone it down to avoid an NC-17 on this.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
With some of the gore and stuff like that. But a property like Mortal Kombat, I mean, you can't just it'd be like Rambo attacking people with a Nerf gun. Like you can't, tone it down.
Right. Right.
I mean, I think they did a really good job of that. Like the fatalities were amazing. It was like every time somebody hit a fatality from the game, I was just like, that's amazing. And not only that, but like seeing him do the moves from the game, like Sub-Zero making the little like ice copy of himself. And
yes.
Liu Kang doing this little butterfly kick thing, and kind of wish he did the little thing that he does in the
right
game, but
well, that's what's nice about these new effects. They can totally do those moves and it doesn't come off like corny or anything. It's like it looks real. Like the fire he had in his hand, like that looked great.
Yeah,
like I loved how he illuminated things.
That was really cool. And I mean, like I watched a video earlier today where it was a side-by-side comparison with the 95 movie.
Oh, sure.
Like, showing like Raiden's entrance versus, 95 versus 2021. And I mean, really, you can't, CGI wise, you can't really compare the two.
Sure.
But it's amazing to see, like, I think that now is the perfect time for this movie to come out with just what we're able to accomplish. And
sure,
we don't have to make it all cheesy wire work and stuff like that, like they did in all the, kung fu movies of the past. Like we can actually make it look like a live action video game. And I think they did really well with that.
Yeah, I think so too, for sure. Yeah. I look forward to, seeing it be more successful. Hopefully it gets more money coming in, and we'll get a sequel. Cause it's just a tease really, to what they can do for a follow up. It's going to be just bonkers probably compared to this. So
it was a very nice appetizer before the main course.
There you go. Yeah.
So
totally
we'll just hope that James Wan stays on for the sequel. I think they were planning originally to do a trilogy with this.
That'd be wise.
Yeah. I just love to see what they could do from here. So
same. Yeah. Well, go check that out, people. Support it. It's good. You'll have a good time either way. Don't go there expecting like an Oscar nominated film, like you said. It's just.
Oh no! I mean,
it's just pop. It's like the popcorn entertainment.
It's like the people that went to go see Expendables. I don't think.
Yeah.
They were,
right,
expecting Oscar-worthy performances out of Sly Stallone and Jason Statham. But,
it's just
it's the same thing with this. I will say if you've never played a single Mortal Kombat game, if you've never watched any of the movies, anything like that, you'll still be perfectly fine watching this. Just go into it like it's another martial arts flick, and you'll be perfectly okay.
Yeah, just blink for the text at the beginning and just discover it as Sonya tells us again what is going on. I think that explains it a lot better. Yeah, that's the only thing I didn't. That was jarring. I was just like, really, we're going right here? Like, come on, baby steps, man. We're all intrigued. We're all hooked. Like just take us out of nowhere, or at least maybe the dialogue in the beginning they could have talked about the tournament somehow. But I don't know. That's the biggest nitpick I really have is just like, whoa, what's going on? This is, I just felt like they could have handled it better. But like you said, it took place. I mean, they filmed it during the pandemic, put it together during the pandemic. So maybe there was a better plan, but they obviously were like, well, we got to release this thing. It's got to make money. So let's just put this in there. It's fine. And, you get over it. It's not like it ruins the movie for you. You're still on the ride to Discovery. So yeah,
it does take you out of it. It does take you out of the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially right after seeing the opening scene with Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It does take you out of the movie, but I mean, it's 10 seconds of the movie 10 seconds out of a 2-hour plus movie that really I think is pretty well done.
Like how I would have done it was like Raiden, he teleports out of that place, Mortal Kombat, which is probably similar to what we saw, but then boom, go right into, this dude who's got the symbol and he's fighting all that shit. Like that would have been great, but I'll edit it myself.
Yeah, exactly. Just hit the 10-second forward button on your Roku remote or whatever you got.
Right.
Call it good.
Yes. It's a popcorn minute. Just have a little snack and
exactly
tune right back in. So yeah, that's good stuff. I'm gonna see that again because it'll leave HBO Max very soon. But of course the theater will be there for a bit, I hope. And Warner Brothers really, I think, delivering some good popcorn flicks. You got Kong versus Godzilla. Like those get people to the theaters, and I know that one's made a lot of money, and they haven't even gone overseas yet, at least to like China. So I'm sure these two films are going to be like very successful over there. So let's hope.
Oh yeah, there's a huge fan base for Mortal Kombat in Asia alone.
Sure.
So I think like Japan, China, stuff like that. If markets like that, it's going to do really well.
Absolutely.
So
the Falcon and Winter Soldier. This is the big Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes team up television show. Well, not really TV show. Forgive me. DC. Holy shit. Disney Plus show. I know what's going
fired.
On. I guess.
You're so fired.
Good thing they don't pay me for this. Take my clip-on tie off now and throw it at them.
There you go.
Disney Plus series. We had WandaVision, which I think was good. And Falcon and Winter Soldier. What were your overall thoughts of the show?
The first thing I want to say about this, because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, it wasn't as good as WandaVision, or oh, it was better than WandaVision, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that, like, the Marvel properties are just like any other property. They're just like books, or just like movies, like music. There's different genres within it,
Yes.
like, Guardians of the Galaxy is like a sci-fi comedy. WandaVision was like fantasy. This is more like kind of an action drama kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really compare them. They're different genres. You're not going to have like all the superpowers and stuff like that you have in like, WandaVision. But I will say, like, this was really well done, and it was really grounded, and I really like that about this.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that Kevin Feige and the people of Marvel can continue the momentum with the MCU. This was really good, especially from the standpoint of somebody who's been, been a veteran.
Yes.
It kind of gave me that like little bit of nostalgia that way. You know, it's
Sure.
like, well, you want to do what's right for your country. You want to serve your country, but you've also got these obligations at home and like to your family and stuff like that. And I think that part of it was really good. I think that it was perfect the way they did it with 6 episodes where it was kind of just like short little segments.
Mhm.
You know, they were able to compress all of this story into this little amount of, you know, episodes that they produced. And I think it was really well done.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think a lot of people who aren't in the military, you know, think in a way like the Avengers. Like, it was interesting when Sam, you know, he comes back home, right? And he's a hero, you know, you know, anyone who volunteers themselves to serve the country like that, you know, I think is a hero. And, you know, it was amazing that he came back from avenging, if you will, and he had financial struggles like I think a lot of people who serve do. And it was hard. It was like, really? He didn't get paid Tony Stark to, you know, like he didn't have a salary or anything. Like, you know, he was trying to get a bank loan and they were interested in his celebrity, but they still weren't going to help him, you know? And I thought that was like, or I was like, man, that really sucks. Like, shit, I got all these movies I can show you you know, what he did. Why? Yeah. You know, I think a lot of people are like, Tony Stark's a dick. Like, he could have paid them, you know, some wages or something. But yeah, I just, yeah, it was.
Well, I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
Oh, I was going to say, like, without being too overly preachy or being too, like, PC or woke, you know, I guess, it touched on a lot of issues that, you know, that somebody like with Sam's background would deal with.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of dealt with like a little bit of like the race in there, like kind of dealt with, you know, the poverty issues and things like that. Like, you know, I think it was kind of a good way of humanizing the character.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Instead of just making him a comic book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, instead of just making him like, you know, this superhero who goes off and does all this stuff. And it's like, these are things you don't really think about. Like, how does Spider-Man pay his rent?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah. No, yeah, I definitely appreciate it.
I thought it was really well done. I think it was,
yeah.
I think it was good. I can't wait to see what else they're going to come up with.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, with Sam's family, you got to see them, and Bucky's trying to make amends. That was really heartfelt, where, you know, he's hanging out with that Asian dude who I thought was maybe one of the Howling Commandos. I thought that would have been kind of a cool reveal, but then, you know, he killed his son, so he was basically trying to work up to telling him. And so I definitely got that. Like, you know, he's pretty much going to end that friendship once he tells him. But, you know, he had a shrink, and that was interesting. I thought, you know, he was trying to, basically, he got the okay by the government, like, hey, you're back with us, and, you know, we're gonna take care of you. He's basically getting more taken care of than Sam was, I guess. You know, you could say. That's what's shocking, is like, and I get that's probably the beginning of them tackling, you know, racism, right, in this world. Mm-hmm. You could say that, or maybe it wasn't, but I did not mind them going there. It kind of was jarring, just because the MCU didn't seem like a place that problem still existed, you know, and maybe I was just like naive, but, you know, you had James Rhodes, who became Iron Patriot, and you had Nick Fury, right? And then Sam himself. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of like, you know, obviously, yeah, this issue would exist, but it was kind of like maybe too preachy for the universe it's in, you know? Like, I think it would have been better if it was like subtle delivery, you know? Yeah. And I'm saying, like, I mean, it's fine. It reflects our world. I get it, and I'm not denying that happens in our world. It just felt like, you know, the MCU was kind of like, its own thing, and that never really came up before. Of course, you never really had the time to address it, so it's something I don't hate about the show, but I do get criticism about it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any criticism about like the messages and stuff like that in it.
Yeah.
From like a viewing standpoint, I guess, like the final episode when he's like giving that speech to the senators or whatever, like that went on a little bit long. It was like, okay, yeah, you made your point. Now you're just beating a dead horse.
Yeah, I think that's
like,
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, I think the points were made and they were made well, but then just the overly like, you know, like, all right, we get it, you know. But you know, maybe also, some people have to hear that though. I mean, probably should think of that, I guess, you know.
Also, though, I think it gave us a bigger glimpse into the world of Captain America, just because, you know, Captain America, he's this blonde-haired, blue-eyed Adonis of a man, you know, this white guy, lived in Brooklyn, whatever, and you know, he was this big hero to everybody, and then they made this. They kind of showed, well, like he was the moral center for Bucky and for Sam. And now he's gone. You know, Sam and Bucky, they already kind of didn't see eye to eye to begin with. The thing that brought them together was Steve.
Right.
And now Steve's gone. And, you know, you've all of a sudden, like, Sam's like, yeah, I don't think I'm worthy of the shield. Like, I don't think I should be the one to carry this. I think the legacy of Captain America should be just that, a legacy. He passes it on, and it gets picked up by some random guy. Yeah. And then this random guy turns out to be, you know, not even remotely close to being able to you know,
right,
keep up with the facade or whatever that Captain America portrayed, which I don't think anybody could. I mean, I don't think that's like reasonable for anybody. But I think that was kind of neat how they did that. They kind of showed like Bucky they showed him getting over his brainwashing in Wakanda.
Yeah, that was cool. A great scene. Yes.
That was a very emotional scene for Bucky, and I thought that nothing in this show took away whatsoever from the characters.
No.
It just added to them. It was like that. Once in a while in the comics, they'll have a big story arc, and then they'll go back and show like a side story that you never really knew. And I think that's what they're doing with this.
Right.
And then, you know, Sam and his struggles, and then he comes across another super soldier that was basically tortured and imprisoned for 30 years.
Right. Isaiah Bradley. Yeah.
And Isaiah was just like, you could see he's like, even with all this power, he's still a broken man that was kind of tossed aside and treated like trash.
Because he was experimented on. It wasn't like, you know, Steve's experience, you know, like it basically was a group of them. And he just he's the one that survived.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, I don't know. I think that just really drove it home with like the amount of pain that these characters have gone through.
Right. Yep. For sure.
I think it was important that they kind of tied it into today's issues a little bit without, I mean, it was a little preachy in some parts, but like the Flag Smashers, I kind of like sympathized more with them and with Carly than I did with Sam and Bucky.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that makes any sense. I mean, they were very, at least Carly was very sympathetic villain. It's kind of like, yeah, okay, I get why you're doing this. You're just not going about it the right way.
Exactly like what Sam said. Yeah.
I think Sam really he didn't want to see it go down the way it did. And the fact that she died at the end, and he was just like, you know, yeah, the bad guy was stopped. Thank you, Captain America. But, you know, I don't think she should have been stopped. I think she was right. She just wasn't right in what she did.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was
how
close.
She did it.
Right. And he was close to getting.
And I think that was.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. He was close to making a breakthrough, and then John Walker, you know, had to come on in, and I disrupt things. He's a Boy Scout. He's and yeah, I thought that was a slap in the face.
Though,
yeah.
At the same time, though, I think it was cool that they just found somebody in the military who had a good record and had him be Captain America, regardless if he had powers or not.
Right, and he had a lot of PTSD before he got in there, so that's probably why he wasn't. Steve didn't experience war yet, with his. He's just a good guy to start with.
When they went back to, they kind of did a throwback to Captain America, before Captain America got his powers, like with the super soldier serum, like Erskine told him, it enhances what's inside you already.
Yes.
So good becomes great, bad becomes worse.
Right.
So I think John Walker, just with his wanting to be the best and not wanting to be a failure, became kind of more of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Just like, Red Skull became a dictator and Steve Rogers became, Captain America.
Well, and he escalated, you understood where he was coming from. You understood his pain. He lost his friend. So I drove him over the edge. And then but then he calmed down. So he wasn't completely like a mustache twirling villain or anything. He helped them, in the end, and he made his own shield, which I'm glad it got dented the hell up, because I was like, how the fuck can this guy make Captain America quality shields in his garage? What? I
mean, I almost during the fight and stuff like that, when he's throwing it around and everything, I'm kind of okay, why doesn't it just hit something, clang and fall to the ground?
Yeah,
instead of bouncing off.
Right.
That's not vibranium. It's basically just scraps out of a garage. But
right.
I did think that it was cool that he just kind of because I mean, they stayed pretty true to the origin of U.S. Agent.
Yes.
With John Walker. I mean, they treated him pretty accurately to the comics and everything, but
yeah, I thought Wyatt Russell did a great job as a character. I mean, people made fun of him in the beginning because of his, the helmet, I don't think was fitted right to him. It felt, and maybe that was intentional.
No.
Maybe it was intentional, but it felt loose in some spots. It wasn't tight on Evans.
I think it looked better as the series progressed. The very first time they showed him in it, it looked like his ears were sticking out too far.
Yes,
he had this big,
very goofy,
look on his face, and I was just who do they get to play this guy, Gomer Pyle? What the hell's going on?
But yeah, I mean, I think we all felt we got slapped in the face by that announcement in the first episode. With John Walker, Sam just turned the shield in, and he thought he did the right thing. And and then of course Bucky was pissed off because he's like, "Why did you give it up?" So there's a lot to do with the shield that brings everybody together, pretty much. I thought that was pretty interesting, and definitely a lot more development with Baron Zemo. That was great. They're not.
I'm glad they brought Zemo back.
Oh yeah, and he had the mask and everything, and.
The MCU has a very poor reputation when it comes to good villains.
Yes.
Of killing them off. You know what I mean?
For sure.
The thing you want to see somewhere down the line is Doctor Doom team up with this person and this person to make life horrible for these people,
Right.
You want to see that in the future, and you can't do that if you're killing everybody. But
right.
I thought the whole Zemo thing, it kind of felt like he never really was captured to begin with, kind of thing, if that makes sense. It kind of had the same feel of Loki, he was captured because he wanted to be.
Right.
He was just kind of biding his time, and he knew that at some point something was going to happen to get him out. But,
well, and he was ready to check out at Civil War, and then Black Panther stopped him. So maybe he's just kind of fresh new look on life. I'm going to have a little more fun here. Because, if I don't, what the hell?
And I think what renewed it is that he had kind of that prejudice against superheroes in general.
Yeah.
But against super soldiers.
Which you could relate to. I mean,
and then Sam and Bucky come to him and say, hey, guess what? There's more of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
So
interesting. Like these villains, you can relate to them. They're not totally bad, but they're not great either. But it's like there's a gray area where you're kind of like you meet them on like, oh yeah, I kind of understand what you're trying to do. But yeah, you're going at it the wrong way. That's the only difference.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
What'd you think about the reveal of Sharon Carter at the end?
I saw it coming, the power broker, and I have to look again, and maybe you caught this, but was Sam and Bucky aware she was a power broker as well?
I don't think they were.
Okay, because it was kind of like said without them around, right? And then they came around, and it's like, shoot off.
Well, and when Sharon confronted Harley, or when they were confronting each other, like as soon as Sam stepped in, Sharon was like, "Oh, I've been shot. Oh, Sam, help me."
Yes.
It's kind of like that, playing that damsel in distress kind of thing.
I didn't. Yeah.
But it's kind of like I want to see now, like how. I mean, I got the kind of like, okay, I'm been exiled to this to Madripoor.
Yeah.
And I had to do this to survive, but at the same time, like if you put people make the the comparison between her and Peggy Carter, it's like, would Peggy have done that?
Right. And the words she said at the funeral, it just didn't seem like she would ever betray, her country or those people.
But I mean, there has been quite a bit of time that's passed since Civil War,
right?
When she had to go on the run and everything, so she's probably got a darker outlook. But yeah, I could. I mean, I was kind of like, when they started talking about the power broker, I'm like, it's somebody that they've already shown.
Probably. Yeah, I suspected her.
I mean? So I'm like,
pretty much right away.
Probably her.
But I didn't want it to be. But I was like, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. I was like, it's either her or Zemo, and the power broker is a total separate character from Zemo. So
exactly. Well, a lot of people point out, like, why would she come back to America in the end? Because she risked getting arrested and all that stuff. And then some people think maybe she's a Skrull, which would explain so much about her villainous turn. Because Secret Invasion is coming. That show is being developed, so it's possible.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense, but where the hell is she? That's the question.
Yeah, it would make sense. I mean,
no stakes though. I get it though too. Like if you make it that, then yeah, there's no stakes. It's like, well,
yeah.
But I don't see her being that way. People have also pointed out that she supposedly was gone for those 5 years as well in the blip, because she's shown on like a holographic projection in Endgame. So I don't know if they retconned that or someone else took her identity during those 5 years maybe. So did we even meet Sharon in this show? Is that just a total fraud or is it only fraud who came to America? But I don't know. I don't want her to be evil.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't want her.
I guess I didn't catch that of whether or not she was involved in the blip or not. But I guess I'll have to go back and watch that.
But I think it's not. You can't. It's not revealed that easily. Like it's in the background, so I guess technically you could ignore that. I don't know. Or they just were mistaken. Their data was mistaken. Definitely didn't. Oh gosh, what's her face? Julianne Dreyfus. I was like shocked to see her in the show. I was like, whoa. Yeah. But it's cool. It's cool. She's like a evil. Well, I don't know if she's evil. Nick Fury, kind of like she's like recruiting. It seems like Walker becomes U.S. agent at the end.
Yeah, she's it kind of seems like she's putting together a new Avengers.
Yeah, almost. Like an anti-Avengers or something like that. Yeah, which I think
maybe she'll be in charge of the Thunderbolts.
Yes, I think people are talking. Yeah, that would make sense, and that'd be great to see. I'd love to see Wyatt Russell come back as John Walker. The only thing I found kind of maybe just not, I don't know, to his character, he's at the end he seemed very happy to get this like PR persona, the U.S. agent. He's like, hey, it's black now. It's not a blue suit. It just felt like, you know, you treat it more like this is an honor, you know, rather than like, isn't this cool? You know, I was like, that kind of fell off to me, but it's okay. I forgive it. You know, nothing's gonna be perfect.
It was kind of like it's kind of like he was landing an acting role versus position.
Yes, he's very giddy. Yeah, and maybe it's the serum doing its thing. I kind of wish Sam had the serum. I was, you know, thinking about that the whole show. Like, can we have a Captain America without the serum? Like,
but at the same time, though, I think it was really cool how they did that without it.
Yeah, I mean, he's protected.
Like they showed him like training and you know, just like beating the crap out of himself, like trying to be the best that he can be. And he's like, you know, that was kind of his thing. I think that was kind of his thing with, you know, taking up the mantle of Captain America is like, you know, there's always going to be that somebody that's saying on your left.
Right.
You know?
Right. Right.
But, yeah, I think it was cool how they did that. And then, him getting his suit from the comics.
Yeah, like right out of the comics. Cool. Like right out of the damn comics. Like, holy shit. They're not shying away.
I will say this about the MCU. They're really good about making the suits and stuff comic accurate.
Right. Yeah.
Like as closely as they possibly can in the realm of, you know,
reality. Yeah, for sure. Oh man.
But yeah, I think it's really cool how they did it.
Oh, it was. And it was like right away in that last episode. Like they didn't take their time. Like it was pretty much like, boom, here I am. And I was like, whoa. I love the wings. Like he really does look like Captain America with the damn wings and the shield. And I was wondering how he's going to hold the shield. So that was cool how he was able to put it on his back. And the only thing that doesn't make sense, I know it's comic accurate. I would like him to have a helmet like Steve's, but white, of course, because it's like, dude, the most important part of your head is exposed. Like you're gonna get throttled.
Yeah.
Like put something over that. Like I think they could maybe they'll adjust it for next time. And, you know, it's a nitpick, but I did dig it. Like it looked great, and it definitely was. It was definitely his own look. You know, it wasn't like Steve's really. You know, except for some of the color scheme, but the white really was like. It was sharp. It was really sharp. And yeah, that was definitely like, you know, we're going to sell toys at this moment, you know, but that's okay. I mean, that's okay. We're down for that too. But no, I dug it. I thought it was great. And I'm glad he finally embraced, you know, and I'm glad he listened to Isaiah, but he also was like, I'm my own person. I've experienced different things. So I'll take what he says, but I'm not going to be totally like, there can't be a black Captain America, you know, things like that. So I really liked how he said, you know, he didn't like, he understood where he was coming from, but he wasn't like 100% right because, you know, things he experienced working with Steve and things like that. That's what I got from it anyway. So I am glad he finally embraced it. And him and Bucky together were great team. And yeah, I want to see more of them. I really do. And yeah, I hope Sharon isn't evil, but maybe she is. I don't know. I mean, people change, but yeah, I don't know. I still want Sam to have the serum, but I get it. It's like they got to show like he doesn't need that to be Captain America, but it's like it's just tempting.
Like I think they gave it to him in the comics to like save his life at one point, and then they retconned it.
Yeah.
Where he didn't have it anymore or something like that. I don't know. Well, of course, in the comics, he had like a telepathic connection with birds.
Right. So, they're like, nope.
So like they can't
86.
They can't really like you know explain that in the show. But
you know what they could do?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
if he gets injured, you know, if there's gonna be another season of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. See, that was another reveal at the end. That was cool. Made sense, obviously.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets injured and Bucky gives him a transfusion. Has to. And he gets a little more power from that. I don't know. I mean, you could go there.
Yeah.
It's possible. But I love Bucky, how he's becoming more human again. And I got a kick out of all those kids trying to, I don't know if they're doing like push-ups with his arm, but they were all grabbing his arm and he was just like holding it out like it was nothing. Like that, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. There's a lot of cool memes. When Bucky like tells the kids when he's laying on the couch, like, "What are you doing?" and they're playing with his shield. There's like a cool meme saying like, "I'm gonna be your dad," because he's flirting with his sister. I thought that was funny.
Oh man,
that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, because there's definitely something there. But I mean, Bucky's a charmer too, so.
That's true. Yeah, he was already kind of a ladies' man before.
Exactly.
Even before he went to war. So.
Right. I think one thing that'd be cool. I would love to see Isaiah in action, like a flashback. I think that should be something they could explore, is some flashbacks. Like they don't have to be a whole series, but like how they used to have the Marvel one shots when they first introduced the MCU, sort of like that would be cool. Like give us like maybe 30 minutes of just like a mission, and like there's so many things you could do.
I'd like to see almost kind of what they did with Agent Carter.
Yes.
They do like a Howling Commandos kind of thing or something like that.
Yes, and
and then like go back and kind of explore that with Isaiah and everything. That would be kind of cool. But
and they're talking about Captain America 4 now, and Chris Evans returning, but I think he'd do his own movie. So I don't know if they would focus on him going back in time. Like that would be cool to see him, aged with the Howling Commandos doing some battles like in the 60s or 70s or something like that. That would be kind of cool. Or it'd probably have to be earlier than that. They'd be old, but I know there's just so much they could tackle. And anytime they introduce like in the Isaiah Bradley, it's like I'm really intrigued to see the history there. I thought that was a good, and that's a character from the comics. They introduced that long ago, so that's very groundbreaking. And again, I'm totally fine with the message. It's just I just felt like it was odd it was introduced now versus like we've had moments in the MCU before, and I get that they don't really have time to tackle that. So obviously you can forgive that, but it is kind of odd. Like I think it would have been cool if Rhodes came back at the end of the show and they talked about what Isaiah said or just some of the revelations they've experienced.
It
just felt like, whoa, we're tackling this. Like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and it was a lot of kind of like that don't look behind the curtain kind of thing. Like,
right.
You thought that this wasn't something you would have to deal with, especially in a post-snap Marvel universe.
Right. Yeah.
But like this stuff went on and nobody had any idea about it.
That's true.
Even Sam was pissed about it. He was like, he went to Bucky and was like, "Did you know about this? Like they were exploiting people like this? Like what the hell?"
Yeah, because I was like,
of course,
totally like
Bucky didn't really know anything, but at the same time,
right? Because they battled. Yeah. No, I think I did a good job. I mean, yeah. I was totally down for the message. It just felt more serious than normal, but I get it. It's a show. They're able to expand more, so totally fine with it. I just at times was like, man, I didn't get this sense before. Like you think Nick Fury wouldn't get his position, with how they were saying it, but maybe it's just who you know. I don't know, but I mean it's definitely, and it's dealt with. So now you can have movies and not really tackled again. It's there, but it's not like something they have to bring to the forefront again. So, but either way, I thought it had a good message, and whether or not it gets a season 2, I'm not sure.
I thought it was going to be a standalone, but I could be wrong on that.
Sure. Yeah.
I guess it's Marvel. I mean, they're always gonna.
I mean,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, there's so much, especially once we get more and more out of the pandemic. I think they're gonna explode again with all these properties, and it's gonna be all hands on deck. We got Black Widow coming, so that's huge, and that was supposed to, I think, come before these shows, so it'd be really interesting to see how that works.
Yeah. I almost think that, I mean, with everything that's been going on in our country and everything like that, I almost think that like this came out at the perfect time.
Oh, Falcon.
Like this was supposed to come. Well, this was supposed to come out even before WandaVision did.
Oh, okay, wow.
And I think like it just timing wise, it worked out well. I mean, it was like right when the George Floyd trials were getting
right. Yep.
Getting finalized and everything like that. It kind of gave it to me. It kind of filled that hole that was left by Chadwick Boseman without replacing him.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But also at the same time, like I think that, I mean, it's cool they did that. Yeah, hooray! Now let's move on.
Right.
Kind of thing. Like I really hope this doesn't become like a pattern with them. Like each new series that comes out has a different message. Like Shang-Chi is, about anti-Asian sentiment or whatever.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I mean, like it's kind of like watching the Oscars. You're like, God, who's going to talk about politics this time? Like, you don't want that to become, it's like keep my politics and my entertainment separate. But
right.
At the same time, I think they did it the right way.
They did because it came from the comics, so it was explored before, and people wanted Iron Man to tackle Demon in a Bottle. So obviously, if he was still around and he was younger, they probably could do a show where that is an issue.
Yeah.
But they lightly tackled that. So yeah, I get it. It had the opportunity to do what it did, and it was an important message. And I'm glad. Yeah. It just felt maybe they should have kind of teased some of this reality in the world, but I guess that's kind of just something you take in. Like, this is kind of supposed to be in our world, so obviously this shit exists. So yeah. But no, I'm glad. And Isaiah got that beautiful tribute at the end at the museum.
The statue.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's basically what he wanted, was recognition. He didn't want like praise, but he's like, he did some stuff for the country, and they just turned their backs on him. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to see more of that, more of his story. Like I just picture him with Captain America like suit. Maybe he never got one, probably not, but I kind of, can't help but to imagine, a mission where he did tackle the Winter Soldier. Like, that would be cool. I'd love to see that. Different, a period piece, whenever they fought. But yeah, I thought, overall, great. And, I think the biggest criticism these shows get is like, well, the finale wasn't the greatest or whatever, but they don't release them all at once, and I think that's maybe hurt them, but I don't mind. I understand what it's all about, and yeah, I'm okay. We don't get all at once. So
well, it's a good way to ensure that they still get their subscriptions every month.
Exactly.
Too.
Yep. Yeah, it's smart.
If you've got a 6 week, you've got a 6 episode series that releases once every week, then, obviously you've got to pay 2 months to watch the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's kind of smart to do it that way, but
it is smart. And then you're not, you still have fuel, in the fire, let's say, it's not just like, boom, nitrous and we're out. We got nothing.
And it's good to have that discussion with it too. Like throughout the week, you'll see like, analysis of the episodes and stuff like that on YouTube. And I think that's cool, not only from a content standpoint, but just from being a fan watching it. Like, it's so cool to see people discussing these things that have been like, that we've been waiting for since we were kids. And now all of a sudden we've got all this stuff, all these properties that are coming out, and
all these theories
being discussed on huge platforms, and like, who's this, or did you catch this little Easter egg? This actually belongs to that person. And
right.
It's kind of cool to see things like that.
Yeah. And if they don't pan out, then it's like a disappointment. It's like, well, it's not their fault. It's your fault for getting all these theories going.
You got
reading too much into it. But it is fun.
Hopes up.
Yeah, it is fun. I remember WandaVision had several videos I was watching. I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like the design and things, and
like, yeah.
But yeah, overall, great show.
So what's the next series coming out? I think Shang-Chi.
Oh, I think it's Loki, isn't it? For Shang-Chi is actually a movie, isn't it?
No, you're.
Is Shang-Chi a movie or is
I
it a
thought
show?
It could be. It could be a movie. I thought it was a series.
I did too, but
no, I think you're right. Loki.
Yeah,
I think
Loki
Loki is the next one coming out.
That's going to be a trip. I think that's going to be like WandaVision.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad Tom Hiddleston got to play Loki again.
Yeah.
He, I know, like how when they interviewed him after, or at the premiere for Infinity War, he was emotional. He was like, he didn't like, he said it out loud, like, yeah, this is the last time I'm playing Loki. And then I don't think he realized it until he said it, and he got like really emotional with it. He's like, oh, wow. I'm not playing this character ever again. So
interview over.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Like they're bringing in Owen Wilson. They're kind of making it like this, like time police kind of thing.
Right.
So, you know, I doubt we'll see Loki come back up into the main MCU. I think this exists entirely outside of it.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I 100% agree. And then you got Hawkeye. And then we got the movies. So, we're all...
Hawkeye's coming out, too.
We're all set, pretty much. It's exciting. It's a lot.
Yeah. I'll probably be keeping my Disney Plus subscription for a little while longer anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, because then they'll have Star Wars come out soon. I think Boba Fett is...
Boba Fett comes out in December. Book of Boba Fett comes out.
Yeah, they got us, man. They got us.
God,
we're prisoner.
They just suckered us. They suckered us right in with WandaVision.
They did.
I guess they suckered us in with the Mandalorian, and then we just kind of stuck around.
Exactly. That's what they did. It was all by design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That was a great series. I think I'll rewatch it again and binge it. I think I want to get another look at it.
Yeah.
Great action sequences. Like did a great job.
It's the way they did it, it's very digestible.
Yes.
I mean, at the time when you're waiting all week to see the episodes, they're like, really? That's only 30 minutes? Like, this sucks. But
yeah,
you know, that is kind of the thing I can see about it is like binging it. At least you can, if you watch it all at once, it's kind of like a 3-hour movie versus
exactly
6 30-minute episodes or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's something I'll probably go back and watch again too. I mean, like kind of like I did with the MCU movies leading up to WandaVision. I was like, oh, I didn't notice that before.
Right.
Or this little thing popped up. I'm like, oh, that makes sense now. And
I know it's written very well, and they crafted the universe, very carefully. So it's paid off, and this new phase is probably going to get even better. So yeah.
Well, they never do anything by accident.
No, they don't.
Even if something seems arbitrary or some little thing, like it's, who knows? Maybe 10 years from now we'll have a Rat Venger movie.
He could.
Like we'll find out that the rat that saved Ant-Man was really Kang the Conqueror in disguise or something.
They could go there, man. They could go there. Like it's
you never know.
It's historical. Happen, they'll probably tackle almost everything in the comics. It's something. Huge thanks for guesting on the show. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
The only geek that stood with me this time. Everybody else had to go. Hey, duty calls. It's fine. It's all good. But yeah,
exactly.
Before we go, Bill, please plug 515 Gaming, will you?
Absolutely. So 2 new videos that I just dropped not too long ago. Actually, one of them just dropped today. So had a first chance to demo Resident Evil 8. So the first demo is for the village portion. The second demo is for the castle portion. Very highly recommend you go check that out if you're interested in seeing any of the gameplay for the game. It's very close to Resident Evil 7 with some polish on it. It looks very good. Once I'm finished with that, got the pre-order coming up here for Resident Evil 8, so I'll be doing some more gameplay on that. I'll be putting some other videos out. Like I said before, I've got a lot of footage, and it's just finding the time right now to edit it and get it put
I
out there.
understand
So,
that. Yep.
but we're going strong. So
Fantastic.
We'll keep it going.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and please, everyone out there, check us out as well. You can search us on Google, and we're everywhere. So we have a massive array of shows to choose from, 5 years worth of content. So yeah, tell your friends and family, and of course, tell them about 515 Gaming too. So, yep, we spread the word. Spread the word. So yeah, thanks a lot, Bill, for being on. Yeah,
no problem.
We will be back. I'm Josh.
I'm Bill.
Take care.